We're going to talk about 3.1, mean, median, mode, and range. One thing that I want you to know that you have to do for every single data set is this first thing that I've written for you up here. What does that very first line say, guys?
Put numbers in order from least to greatest.
So no matter what, whenever you get a data set, the first thing you'll do every single time is you'll put those numbers in order from least to greatest. Let's talk about the mean. The mean is the average of the data set. Do you guys know how to find the average of something? What do you think? You add it all up, and then what do you have to do? And then you divide by the number of numbers in your data set. Okay, so we'll be finding the mean here in just a minute. The next thing is the median. Guys, read to me what the median is.
Middle number.
The middle number, okay? So it's pretty easy to find the middle number. However, it can get a little tricky. Read to me what it says in the parentheses next. If there's an even amount of numbers, find the mean of the middle two numbers. Tell me one more time, what is the mean? It is the average of the middle two numbers. The next one that we're talking about is the mode. What does the mode say it is?
The number that appears.
The number that appears the most. Repeat after me. Mode.
Mode.
Most.
Most.
Those two sound very similar because they both start with MO and MO. So that can help you to remember the number that occurs the most, more than anything else, is the mode. Now here's what's interesting. Read me what it says in the parentheses.
There can be none, one, or more than one.
All right? If there's no numbers that repeat themselves, there's no mode. There might be one mode, or there could be more than one mode. The last thing that I want to teach you about is the range. Read to me what the range is.
Difference between highest and lowest number.
It is the difference. Can you think about this word difference right here? What sign goes with difference? Subtraction. So you're going to take the biggest number and then subtract the smallest number. Okay, so these are important vocab words that you're going to need for our lesson today. My instructions ask us to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. So here I've given you a data set. But if you look at your notes and the very first thing that we wrote down that you underlined and starred, what did it say? Put the numbers in order from least to greatest. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this data set directly underneath the original data set. Carlos, what's the smallest number you see there?
4.
A 4. So directly underneath that, you're going to write a 4. Katie, what's the next one?
4. Or the next largest number?
Nope, the tiniest one.
The next one's a 4.
Another 4. Jakari, next smallest number. 8. Next up, Alex. Next one, Emma.
12.
Good job. Michael. 12 again. Remember, you're sticking it directly underneath the other numbers. We're just sticking them in order from least to greatest. Isabel.
15.
15. Landon. And the last one, Michael. 22. So now if I go back through and I look at my numbers, I can see they are now in order from least to greatest. The instructions ask us to find the mean. The first thing it says is the mean. So guys, what is the mean? The average. How do we find the average of all these numbers?
You add it and then divide it by the number that you get when you add.
You add them all up. So let's do that first. Once again, this is a calculator chapter. So I want you to pull your calculators out and add up all of the numbers in this data set. Isabel, what'd you get when you added them up? 104, okay? When you're doing the mean, you have to show your work, okay? Now I'm going to divide by the number of numbers I had in my data set, okay? So you can count these numbers. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So how many numbers are in my data set?
9.
There's 9 of them, so I'm dividing by the number 9 because there were 9 numbers that we added together. What is 104 divided by 9? What was the answer that you got when you put that in?
11.5 repeating.
Okay, 11.5 repeating. What does that mean? Which number is being repeated?
5.
5. So basically I could go on forever. 0.55555. Okay? But when you have something like this, I don't want you to go on forever and ever and ever. Every time when you have a problem like this, I want you to round to the nearest tenth, okay? Remember, the tenths place is right there to the right of the decimal. So if I rounded this to the nearest tenth, what is my answer, guys? 11.6, because it needs to go to the nearest tenth. Then go ahead and box in your answer, because that is what our mean is. Now the instructions asked us to find the mean. The second thing they asked us to find is the median. All right, so look back at your notes that we just copied. What is the median?
Middle number.
The middle number. So when I am looking at the middle number of my data set, I can go from the outside, okay? So this is an outside number, that's an outside number. Come to the next one, that's an inside. This is the next inside, then inside. Coming right here, what is my middle number, guys? 12. I want you to circle it. And then go ahead and write it down. There is no work that has to be shown. That's the middle number. Next, my instructions say find the mean, median, and the mode. Read to me what the definition is for the mode, guys.
The number that appears the most.
The number that appears the most. Is there any number up there that you can see appears more than other numbers?
No.
Not a single one?
Yes, 12.
Yes, 12.
Okay.
12 and 4.
I see 12 2 times, and as Isabel just said, the number 4 2 times. So how many numbers do I have for my mode? There's 2 of them. A 4 repeats itself, and the 12 repeats itself. So on this problem, we have 2 modes because those are the numbers that occurred the most. They appeared twice. Everything else only appeared once. Finally, my instructions asked me to find the what?
Range.
The range. Let's go back to our notes and read to me the definition of what a range is. The difference between the highest and the lowest numbers. What is the highest number in my data set?
12.
22. That's the highest or the biggest. Difference. What does difference mean? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide?
Subtract.
Subtract. So I'm going to do 22, the biggest number, minus my smallest number in the data set, which is what?
4.
4. What's 22 minus 4, guys? 18. Box your answer in. And that is how you find the mean, median, mode, and range of a data set. Okay, so we're going to do another example exactly like that, but this is a new data set. What do I do every time right at the beginning when I have a new data set?
Put them in order from least to greatest.
Put them in order from least to greatest. Who feels comfortable and wants to do that for me? Landon, go ahead.
10, 17, 18, 20, 23, 66, 79.
Okay, so here's what happened. As I get to the end, I can see there's a blank right here underneath this other number, so I know something went wrong. We had to have forgotten a number. Okay, so let's go back. We forgot the 52. That's okay. That's why I have you put it directly underneath other numbers, because if that happens, then you can easily go back and see something went wrong. So what comes after 52? Now the 66 and the last one? Good job. Okay, once you've put them in order from least to greatest, you're going to go ahead and find your mean. What does the mean mean, guys?
Average.
Average. Whenever you're looking for the average, what's the first thing you do with all your numbers? Add them up. Pull out your calculators, go ahead and add those up. Kyla, when you added them up, what'd you get?
285.
285. Now I have to divide that by what number?
8.
8. How'd you figure out I needed to divide it by 8? Because there were 8 numbers in our data set in the original problem. Now plug that into your calculator, 285 divided by 8, to help you figure out what the mean is. Gabby, what'd you get?
35.625.
Okay, 35.625. Now as you remember, every time I want you to round to the nearest what?
10.
Tenth. Okay, this is the tenths place. So if I'm rounding that, what's my answer going to be, guys?
35.6.
35.6. Box that answer in, okay? Once again, each time when you have the mean, you want to show me the work, okay? Because I can still give you partial credit if I understand that you understand what the mean is. In my instructions, it asked me to find the mean. What's the next thing we're going to find?
Median.
The median. What is the median, guys?
The middle number.
The middle number. So let's go ahead and look at this to see what the middle number is, okay? So this is the outside one. Then I come to the next one. Come to the next one. And what do we have left in the middle? There are two numbers there. I want you to go ahead and circle both numbers. Now what I want us to figure out is what number would come right here in the middle of those two. Because with the median, I'm only allowed to have one number. So let's go back to our notes. Look at the notes where it talked about the median. And it said the median's the middle number, but I gave you something in parentheses. Read to me what that says. If there's an even amount of numbers, find the mean of the middle two numbers. Once again, we had an even amount of numbers. Now we have to find the mean of 20 and 23. How do I find the mean of those two? Add them together. What's 20 plus 23?
43.
43. Is that my mean? No. How do I find that mean or that average? Divide by what? 2, because there were two numbers there. What is 43 divided by 2?
21.5.
21.5, and that is your answer for what our median is. If I was to look at what number would come right here in the middle, it would be a 21.5. It asks for the mean, the median. What's the next thing? Mode. Remember, repeat after me. The mode occurs the most. As I look up there at my data set, 10, 17, 18, 20, 23, 52, 66, 79, which number there occurred the most times, guys? None of them. They all were there one time. So guess what your answer is?
0.
No mode. Don't write 0, because there is no number 0 there that was occurring the most. Instead, you must write the words no mode. Finally, I've got to find the what? The range. Read to me one more time. Go back to your notes. What is the range? The difference between the highest and lowest number. Emma, what was the highest number in my data set? 79. Michael, what was the lowest number in my data set? 10. Okay? So you subtract the 2, 69, and then go ahead and box your answer in. And that is what your range is. So hopefully that helps you to understand a little bit better about how to find the mean, median, mode, and range. Those are 4 things that you're definitely going to want to know for your project coming up. Also for tonight's homework. I want to do just a few review problems with you. So here we've got 2 review problems. Jakari, what do I do first? Decimals at the end. I keep moving it over. Now what? And multiply times 10 to the what? You are correct. Good job. Who wants to do problem B for me? Go ahead, Kyla.
Alright, so go take the decimal from n and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop right there. And then like you write 4.02 times 10 to the 4th power.
That is correct, okay?
And box it in.
Thank you for remembering. You've got to drop down that 0 right there. Only don't drop down which zeros?
The ones at the end.
Behind
The ones that are at the end, okay? Next up, we're going to flip it. Number 4, write the numbers in standard form. So here we've got just the opposite. We want to put it in standard form. Landon, what do I do?
Okay, so we're going to write 9.3.
All right, drop down the 9.3.
And then we're going to move your decimal to the right 6 times.
Good job.
And you're going to fill them with zeros. And then your number now is 9,300,000.
Excellent. Thank you for putting those commas in there. Great work. Okay, Michael, do the next one for me.
Alright, 1.5.
And what's your answer? 150 is correct, okay? So good job. Those were just a couple review problems that you guys had on your test yesterday. I want you to go ahead and write down tonight's homework. It's just 10 problems from 3.1.